Hello everybody and welcome back to my continuation of my book reading of Gulliver's Travels. I'm at chapter 6 now, Gulliver and his master. There we go. Soon after we arrived, the whole family sat down at the table for dinner. There was a large piece of meat on a plate about 8 meters across. The farmer put me on the table with some small pieces of bread and meat in front of me. I was very frightened of falling off the edge of the table, which was 10 meters from the ground. The farmer and his family were delighted to work with me and to watch me eat food with my own small knife and fork. But when I started walking across the table to the farmer, his youngest son, a boy of about 10 years old, picked me up by my legs. He held me so high in the air that my whole body trembled. Fortunately, his father took me away at once and angrily hit the boy hard on the head. But I remembered how cruel children can be to small animals, so I did not want the boy to take his revenge on me. So I fell on my knees and asked them not to punish the child anymore. They seemed to understand. Just then I heard a noise behind me. It sounded like 12 machines running at the same time. I turned my head and saw a huge cat, 3 times larger than one of our cows. The farmer's wife held it in her arms so that it could not jump at me. But in fact, because I showed no fear, there was no danger, and the cat even seemed a little afraid of me. At the end of dinner, a servant came in with the farmer's 1-year-old son in her arms. He immediately started crying and screaming because he wanted to play with me. His mother smiled and put me in his hand. When he picked me up and put my head in his mouth, I shouted so loudly that he dropped me. Luckily, I was not hurt, but it showed me how dangerous life was going to be in Brobdingnag. After eating, the farmer, or my master, as I shall now call him, went back to his work in the fields. I think he told his wife to take good care of me, because she put me carefully on her bed and locked the bedroom door. I was exhausted and I slept for 2 hours. When I woke up, I felt very small and lonely in such a huge room and on such a large bed. Suddenly, I saw 2 huge rats run towards me across the bed. One came right up to my face, so I pulled out my sword and cut open his stomach. The other ran away at once. I walked up and down on the bed to control my trembling legs, and looked at the dead rat. It was as large as a big dog, and its tail measured 2 meters. When my master's wife came into the room sometime later, I showed her how I had killed the rat. She was delighted that I was not hurt and threw the dead rat out the window. My master also had a daughter who was about 9 years old. She was given the special responsibility of taking care of me, and I owe her my life. During my stay in her country, we were always together, and she saved me from many dangerous situations. I called her Glumdalglitch, which means little nurse. She was good at sewing and managed to make some clothes for me in the tiniest material available. She also made me a small bed, which was placed on a shelf too high for rats to reach. Perhaps the most useful thing she did was to teach me the language, so that in a few days I could speak it quite well. Soon all my master's neighbors were talking about the strange little creature he had found in the field. One of them came to see me, and as I walked towards him across the table, he put on his glasses. His eyes behind the glasses looked like 2 full moon shining into 2 windows. I thought it was very funny, and I laughed loudly. Unfortunately, that made him very angry. I heard him whispering to my master all evening, and I was sorry I had laughed at him. Next day, the daughter came to me in tears. "You'll never guess what's happened," she told me sadly. "Our neighbor had advised father to show you to people for money. Father's going to take you to the market tomorrow, where there'll be crowds of people ready to pay for entertainment." "I am so ashamed, and perhaps you'll get hurt. Other people won't be so careful with you as I am." "Don't worry," I replied. "As I'm a stranger here, I don't mind being shown to people like a strange wild animal. I must do what your father wants, and I was secretly hoping I would one day find a way of escaping and returning to my own country." So the next day came, and my master and his daughter got on their huge horse. The daughter carried me inside a small box, which had air holes so that I could breathe. When we arrived at the market town, my master hired the largest room in the public house and placed me upon the table there. His daughter stayed close to me to make sure that nobody hurts me. I was told to speak in their language, pull out my sword, drink from a cup, and do other things to amuse the crowd. Only 30 people were allowed in to see me at once, or at one time. On that first day, everybody wanted to see me, and I was shown to over 350 people. My master plan was so successful that he arranged to show me again on the next market day. I did not look forward to this at all. I was so tired with the journey and the entertainment that I could only walk and speak with difficulty for the next 3 days. Even when we were at home, neighbors and friends from all parts of the country came to look at me, and my master made me work hard to amuse them, so I had almost no rest. My master finally realized that he could make a fortune by showing me to people all over the country. So about 2 months after my arrival, we left the farm and started our journey to the capital. As before, the daughter came with us to take care of me. On the way, we stopped in many towns and villages so that I could be shown to people. At last, after a journey of nearly 5,000 kilometers, we arrived at the capital. Now I had to work even harder as people came to look at me 10 times a day. And that was chapter 6, people. Thank you so much for listening. I hope you enjoyed it. And the next chapter will be chapter 7 at the King's Palace. Thank you very much, and I'll catch you in the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.